Hello everyone, welcome to my channel B&B CBS Gossip 24. When Remy learns who Deke's biological father really is, she is appalled. Bold and the beautiful spoilers. Remy. He was supposed to be my friend, my anchor when everything else fell apart. But he's been keeping secrets. Big ones. He opens the envelope. A few pages spill out, hospital records, birth certificates, a paternity test. His eyes scan, and his face drains of color. Remy. No, this can't be right. He stumbles back, gripping the edge of the file cabinet. His voice trembles. Remy. Deacon Sharp, is Deke's father? Beat. He drops into a chair, reeling. Remy. That makes him part Spencer, part Forrester, and part of every lie we ever told. Footsteps echo. Steffi passes by, glancing in through the glass wall. She notices Remy pale and shaken. Steffi. Remy? What are you doing down here? You look like you've seen a ghost. He forces a weak smile. Remy. Maybe I did. Steffi. What does that mean? He hesitates, clutching the file. Remy. Nothing, yet. But if I'm right, we're all living a lie. Deke Sharp stands at a mirror, adjusting his tie. His reflection is calm, too calm. He senses someone behind him. Deke. If that's you, Steffi, I told you, the press release can wait till morning. Remy. It's not Steffi. Deke turns. Remy's there, holding the envelope. His eyes are wet but hard. Deke. You shouldn't be down here. Remy. You shouldn't be lying to everyone who trusts you. Deke. Watch it, kid. I don't know what you think you found, but... Remy. I found out who your father really is. Silence. Deke's expression freezes, just for a second. Deke. You went through my files? Remy. No. I went looking for the truth. The file found me. Deke. Give it to me. Remy. Why? So you can bury it again? Deke takes a step forward, Remy backs away. Remy. You said you didn't know your father. You said your mom took that secret to her grave. Deke. That was the truth. Remy. No, it was the story. The truth's right here. DNA, blood type, everything. Deacon Sharp. He's your father. Deke's jaw clenches, he looks away. Remy. You've been working beside him for months. Calling him a friend. He has no idea, does he? Deke. Stop. Remy. He deserves to know. Deke. I said stop. The room falls silent. Deke's breathing hard, emotion breaking through his cool exterior. Deke. You don't understand what that man did to my mother, what he left behind. Remy. Then help me understand. Because right now, all I see is you turning into the same liar you hate. Deke looks up, eyes glassy. Deke. You think I don't wake up every day wondering who I am? I built a life without a name, Remy. And now you want to rip it away from me. Remy. You can't build a future on lies. Not here. Not with these families. He sets the folder on the counter, softer now. Remy. You always said truth comes first, no matter the cost. I guess we find out if you meant it. Remy leaves. Deke stays, staring at the folder like it's a loaded weapon. Deacon Sharp, Deacon, sits at the small table, going through invoices. The door swings open. Deke stands there, exhausted. Deacon. Hey, kid. You look like you didn't sleep. Something wrong? Deke. You tell me. Deacon studies him, confused. Deacon. All right, what's this about? Deke. That's what this is about. Deacon opens it, scanning. His face drops when he recognizes the lab logo. Deacon. Where did you get this? Deke. Doesn't matter. Just tell me if it's true. Deacon stays silent. His expression says everything. Deke. You knew? All this time, you knew and said nothing? Deacon. It wasn't my secret to tell. Your mother made me promise. Deke. Don't you dare blame her. Deacon. I'm not blaming her. I'm respecting her. She didn't want you dragged into my mess. You deserved a better man to look up to. Deke. Then why now? Why let me build my whole life on a lie? Deacon. Because I didn't want to ruin what you had. You had a name, a life, a future. All I ever had were mistakes. Deke sinks into a chair, shaking his head. Deke. You think you're protecting me? You stole my choice. You stole my right to know who I am. Deacon kneels beside him, voice raw. Deacon. You're my son. That's who you are. And if you hate me for it, I'll take it. But don't you ever think I didn't love you, even when I couldn't say it. Beat. Deke looks away, torn between fury and heartbreak. Deke. You should have said it sooner. He stands, leaving the file behind. Deacon watches him go, a tear sliding down his cheek. Remy stands outside, watching Deke drive away. Steffi joins him. Steffi. So it's true? Remy. Yeah. Deacon's his father. Steffi. That makes Deke part of the Sharp bloodline, and tied to Sheila. She looks uneasy. Steffi. This isn't just a family secret. It's a ticking bomb. Remy. And we just lit the fuse. Deacon. You wanted the truth, kid. Now look what it did. The door bursts open. Hope strides in, still in her yoga gear, eyes wide. Hope. Dad, tell me this isn't true. Please. Deacon. What did you hear? Hope. Everything. The blogs, the alerts. Deacon Sharp secretly fathered Deke Sharp. They are quoting sources close to Forrester. Is it true? He exhales, defeated. Deacon. Yeah. It's true. And he's gone. Hope. Gone. As in. Deacon. He left town. No calls, no cards, just, gone. Hope. You should have told him before he found out like this. Deacon. You sound just like him. Steffi and Ridge argue while Carter scrolls through social media on his tablet. Carter. Every outlet's picking it up. If the story's true, we're looking at a PR nightmare, Sharp bloodlines, Forrester involvement, past crimes. Ridge. We need to contain it. Steffi. Contain it? Dad, we need to own it before the press writes the ending for us. Ridge. And what exactly are you planning? Steffi. Find Deke, bring him back, and make him tell the truth on our terms. Carter. That's damage control, not compassion. Steffi. Right now, they're the same thing. Deacon's packing an overnight bag when there's a knock. It's STFFY, sharp suit, sharper tone. Steffi. We need to talk. Deacon. Not now, Steffi. Steffi. Now. Because your son's disappearance just became my company's problem. Deacon. He's not thinking straight. Neither am I. Steffi. Where would he go? Deacon hesitates. Deacon. Somewhere he can't be found. There's an old cabin up near Big Bear, it was his mother's. Steffi. Then that's where we start. Hope sits with Brooke, who's scanning the news on her laptop. Brooke. Oh, Hope, this is going to destroy him. Hope. He deserves the truth, Mom. Even if it hurts. Brooke. You're defending Deacon? Hope. No. I'm defending Deke's right to know where he came from. Something we've both been denied before. Brooke softens, remembering her own history. Brooke. Then pray they find him before the reporters do. Snow flurries drift. Deacon's car crunches up the drive, Steffi's SUV behind him. They step out, flashlights cutting through the gray. Deacon. Deke. It's me. Just talk to me, son. No answer. The cabin door creaks open. Inside, the fireplace smolders, recently used. Steffi. He's here. They step inside. The room is scattered with old photos, Deke's mother, a young Deacon, and baby pictures. Deacon. She kept them all, she never stopped believing we'd be a family. From outside, a twig snaps. They rush out. Deke steps out from the trees, disheveled, eyes red. Deke. You shouldn't have come. Deacon. You ran, I followed. That's what fathers do. Deke. Funny word, that. Father. Where was mine when I needed him? Steffi. Deke, the story's spreading. You need to face it now, before it's used against you. Deke. So that's why you're here, not to help me, but to protect your brand. Steffi. No. I'm here because I know what it's like to be born into chaos. It eats you alive unless you fight it. Deke. Did you ever fight for me? Or just for yourself? Deacon takes a slow step closer. Deacon. Every day. Even when I didn't deserve to. Beat. Deke's anger falters, he wipes his face. Deke. Then help me make it right. Before it gets worse. The three sit around the fire. Steffi's phone buzzes, Hope calling. Steffi. Hope, we found him. Processing. Hope. Then you all need to come back. The press conference Ridge scheduled? It's happening tomorrow morning. And Will Spencer's already spinning the story. Steffi. Of course he is. Deacon. Spencer's always smell blood. Deke looks between them, realizing what's at stake. Deke. So that's it. I come back, confess to the cameras, and ruin all of you. Steffi. Or you come back and control your own story. Deacon. We'll do it together. No more lies. He reaches out. Deke hesitates, then clasps his father's hand. Deacon. That's my boy. Outside, the wind howls, ominous. Will Spencer watches a live feed from a hidden drone camera pointed at the cabin. Assistant. They found him. Looks like a family reunion. Will. Good. Families make the best tragedies. Steffi Forrester Finnegan stared at her reflection in the window and tried to believe she still looked in control. Behind her, Ridge paced. We need one message, he said, voice tight. Forrester Creations stands united. No scandals, no secrets, no finger-pointing. Steffi didn't turn. You want me to stand next to Deacon Sharp and pretend the last 48 hours didn't happen? That his son's meltdown and the Spencer vultures aren't circling? You'll do it, Ridge replied, the general commanding his daughter. Because perception is survival. If we fracture on camera, they'll eat us alive. Steffi's eyes flashed at the reflection of her father's. Fine, she said. But when this blows up, and it will, I want everyone to remember who lit the match. Downstairs, Deacon waited in the green room. A makeup artist dabbed powder across his forehead. It did nothing for the tremor in his hands. Deke, pale and exhausted, hovered near the doorway. You don't have to go out there, Deacon murmured. I do, Deke answered quietly. If I don't face it, Will Spencer wins. And I'm done being someone else's headline. Hope entered, placing a supportive hand on each man's shoulder. Just remember, she whispered, truth isn't the enemy. Hiding is. Deacon gave a humorless laugh. On this show? Hiding's half our business. At the same hour across town, Will Spencer leaned back in his office chair at Spencer Publications. On one screen, a live feed from the Forrester conference stage, courtesy of an embedded stringer. On another, the uncut footage of the Big Bear confrontation, the same clip he'd had his tech team enhance and watermark with the Spencer logo. Broadcast delay, his assistant asked. Will smiled, fingers poised over the keyboard. There won't be one. The press conference began with a blinding boast of camera flashes. Ridge opened with polished calm. Today, Forrester Creations reaffirms its commitment to integrity and transparency. Steffi took over, the professional mask flawless. Recent reports involving members of our extended family have raised questions. We're here to answer them. Behind her, Deacon and Deke stood side by side, two men bound by truth and damage. Deke swallowed hard before stepping to the microphone. My name, he began, voice unsteady, is Deke Sharp. I recently learned that Deacon Sharp is my biological father. Neither of us chose how this came out, but we're choosing what happens next. We're not running. There was a murmur through the crowd, some sympathetic, some skeptical. For a heartbeat, it seemed the gamble might work. Then the screens flanking the stage flickered. The Forrester logo vanished. Grainy video replaced it. A cabin, a fire, voices. Deacon's own voice echoed through the speakers. You're my son. That's who you are. Then Deke's, trembling, you should have said it sooner. The audience gasped. Reporters surged forward. On the front row, Hope covered her mouth. Steffi spun toward the AV booth. Chaos. Cut the feed. Ridge barked. Technicians scrambled. Too late. The video looped again, the Spencer watermark pulsing in the corner like a signature of betrayal. At Spencer Publications, Will watched the reaction unfold in real time, satisfaction curling across his face. And that, he said softly, is how you control a narrative. Back at Forrester Creations, Deacon yanked the microphone from its stand. That footage was stolen, he shouted over the noise. Edited to humiliate my family. Whoever did this. But his voice drowned under the roar of questions. Steffi grabbed his arm. Stop. The more you fight it, the more they win. Deke stood frozen. It's true though, he whispered. All of it. Yes, Steffi said. But they don't get to weaponize your truth. She turned to the crowd again, eyes blazing. We have nothing to hide. Families make mistakes. We own ours. That's what makes us stronger. The crowd wavered, torn between scandal and admiration. Somewhere a reporter murmured, she's good. Later, the building emptied into uneasy quiet. Hope found Deke alone in the corridor, staring at the blank monitors. You survived your first Spencer ambush, she said gently. He managed a smile. Barely. You have your father's stubbornness, she teased. And his heart. Deacon approached from the shadows, eyes tired but proud. If that's true, he said, then maybe we'll both be okay. For a moment, silence. Then Deke stepped forward, embracing him. No applause, no cameras, just two men learning how to start again. Night fell over Los Angeles. In the Spencer Tower, Will poured himself a drink and watched the recap on the news. Steffi's impromptu speech was trending as Forrester's stand for family. Public sentiment was shifting. His smirk faded. Never underestimate a Forrester, he muttered. He closed his laptop, unaware that the red light on his security camera was still recording. Across town, in Deacon's apartment above Illinois Giardino, the air was thick with the smell of burnt coffee and sleeplessness. Deke sat at the counter, turning a small flash drive over and over in his hands. The same type Will had used to leak the footage. You should eat something, Deacon said, coming in from the balcony. Deke didn't look up. I'm not hungry. You can't fix anything if you fall apart. Deke's jaw tightened. You think this is fixable? Deacon hesitated. No. But surviving is. Deke turned to him finally, eyes rimmed red. They're saying I used the reveal for publicity. That I knew and planned the whole thing. Well, Spencer's got half the city believing I'm some kind of con artist. Deacon leaned on the counter, lowering his voice. Then we stop letting him write your story. How? By giving him a new one. He slid a folded piece of paper across the counter, a list of names. People who were there the night of the arrest. People Sheila Carter paid off. Deke frowned. You think this connects back to her? I know it does, Deacon said. And if we prove it, we bury every lie she and Will ever planted. At Spencer Publications, the glow of monitors painted Will's face in shades of blue and silver. The praise from his team should have pleased him. The analytics were through the roof, the story dominating every trending feed. But something gnawed at him, Steffi's composure, the way she twisted the narrative back into her control. He replayed her speech, studying her eyes. She's not scared, he muttered. She's planning. A knock interrupted his thoughts. His assistant poked her head in. There's a man here to see you. Says it's urgent. Before Will could respond, Rich Forrester walked in uninvited, trench coat draped like a storm cloud around his shoulders. Evening, Will, Rich said evenly. We need to talk about theft, defamation, and war. Will rose slowly. That sounds serious, Mr. Forrester. It's about to be. Rich tossed a tablet on the desk. We traced the IP of that live leak. Straight to Spencer Publications. Will didn't flinch. You can't prove I hit upload. Reporters share things all the time. Rich stepped closer, eyes narrowing. You crossed a line. You hurt my daughter. You hurt people who didn't deserve it. Will's smirk was small, almost polite. Then maybe your daughter should stop keeping secrets worth selling. Rich's fist connected with the desk, not Will's face, though the restraint was visible. You think you're in control. But you forget one thing, Forrester's build, Spencer's destroy. And when you destroy too much, there's nothing left for anyone. He turned and left without another word. Will watched him go, his expression shifting, not fear, not guilt, but calculation. Then I guess we see who's better at their job, he murmured. Morning came pale and quiet. At Forrester, Steffi stood with Hope near the design floor, the first sunlight bleeding through the skylights. I saw Ridge last night, Hope said. He looked ready to go to war. He's protecting the family, Steffi answered. But this isn't just about us anymore. Will's playing a bigger game. Hope hesitated. What kind of game? Steffi's phone buzzed again. Another message, same number. He's not working alone. Check the archives. Her eyes widened. Oh my God. At that same moment, Deacon and Deke pulled into a deserted parking lot behind an old storage facility on the edge of downtown. The address matched one from Deacon's list, an old Spencer rental under an alias connected to Sheila's past. They found the door unlocked. Inside, dust and forgotten furniture, and a single open laptop humming quietly on a folding table. On its screen, a folder labeled Carter Project. Deke clicked it open. Documents, invoices, wire transfers. One video file. He double-clicked. A low-quality clip played, Sheila, in a meeting, handing cash to a figure off-camera. When the figure leaned into frame, Deke froze. It wasn't Will. It was Cassie Webb, the same employee who had helped leak Luna's case months earlier. Sheila's been using her, Deacon whispered. Using both of them. Deke's pulse raced. Then we've got proof. We take this to Steffi. The screen blinked black. A message appeared. Nice try, Dad. You should have stayed out of it. The laptop powered down. Outside, tires screeched, a car speeding away. Hours later, in the Forrester office, Deacon and Deke laid out what they'd found. Ridge, Steffi, and Hope listened in stunned silence. So Sheila's alive, Ridge said flatly. And she's behind the leak. She's pulling strings through Spencer, Steffi added. Using him as a distraction. Deacon nodded grimly. And now she knows we know. Steffi looked out the window toward the horizon, voice almost a whisper. Then this isn't fallout. It's only the beginning. Across town, at a quiet motel off the 405, Sheila Carter watched a news clip replay of the press conference on an old television. Her lips curved into a slow smile. Collateral damage, she murmured. They always forget the first casualty is trust. She picked up her phone and dialed. It's me, she said. Everything's in place. Tell Will to stand by. It's time the Forresters learned what real exposure feels like. She hung up, eyes glittering with triumph. Steffi stood over the conference table, sleeves rolled up, scanning the evidence Deke and Deacon had brought. Printed stills, wire transfer records, a single blurry photo of Sheila and Cassie meeting at the same storage unit Deacon had found. Ridge entered without knocking. He looked like he'd slept in his office chair, but his voice was steel. Tell me everything, he said. Deacon took the lead. Sheila used Cassie Webb to feed Will the leaks. When the Luna scandal didn't break us, she pivoted to bloodlines. Me, Deke, the Forresters. She wanted chaos. Ridge stared at the photos. And Will Spencer. Still her pawn, Steffi said. But not for long. There was something in her eyes, not fear, but focus. She had been raised in boardrooms and battlefields alike. This was just another war. Across town, at Spencer Publications, Will stood at the window, watching the rain streak down the glass like prison bars. Sheila's voice crackled through the speakerphone. You look tense, she purred. You should be celebrating. The Forresters are choking on their own secrets. Will's jaw tightened. They are regrouping. Ridge came to my office. He knows. Let him, she said. He can't touch us without exposing himself. Remember what's in that file I gave you. Will's gaze shifted to the locked drawer in his desk, a flash drive nestled inside. If what you said about Ridge is true, then he's finished. But if it's not? It's true, Sheila interrupted. You just have to push a little harder. The line went dead, leaving only the soft hiss of rain and the pulse of Will's own heartbeat. For the first time, he wasn't sure who was being played. By noon, the Forrester family had gathered. Ridge, Steffi, Hope, Brooke, Deacon, and Deke. The air in the office felt electric. We go public, Steffi said. We take control again. A joint statement, Forrester and Sharp united. Ridge frowned. That'll make us look weak. No, Hope countered. It'll make us look human. The Spencers can't weaponize transparency. Deke nodded, still pale but determined. I'll say whatever you need. Deacon placed a hand on his son's shoulder. We'll say it together. It should have been a moment of unity, but every phone in the room vibrated at once. A breaking news alert filled the screens. Steffi's breath caught. Brooke's face drained of color. Rich's hand trembled as he opened the link. The video played in silence. Old footage, grainy, time-stamped years earlier. Ridge in a warehouse, exchanging a briefcase of cash with an unidentified man. The caption read, "Illegal textile deal ties Forrester to foreign labor violations." Where did this come from? Hope whispered. Deacon looked to Ridge. Is it real? Ridge closed his eyes. It's real enough. From a deal we buried years ago. Spencer must have gotten the file from Sheila. Steffi slammed her fist on the table. So she's not just after revenge, she's rewriting history. Brooke touched his arm gently. Ridge, we can fix this. But he was already moving toward the door. No. I'm going to fix it. That evening, Ridge walked into Spencer Publications unannounced, drenched from the rain. Will's assistant stammered, but he brushed past her. Will looked up from his desk, startled. You again? Ridge tossed a small USB onto the desk. That's everything Sheila Carter gave you, the uncut version. She doctored it. Will eyed the drive warily. Why bring it to me? Because I want you to see how easily she'll destroy you next. Will hesitated, curiosity stronger than pride. He inserted the drive, watching the screen flicker. The footage continued, after the point Sheila had cut it. The illegal deal became something else. Ridge handing the briefcase to a charity contact, a relief fund created after a factory fire. The supposed crime had been a rescue mission, not a scandal. Will stayed, realization dawning like a slap. She faked it. Ridge's voice was quiet but sharp. She always does. Will exhaled, running a hand through his hair. She'll come for me when she finds out I know. She already has, Ridge said. So pick a side. At that same moment, back at the Forrester estate, Steffi's phone buzzed again. Another anonymous message. You can't save him this time. Before she could react, Deacon burst through the door, breathless. Sheila's on the move. Cassie spotted her near the warehouse district. Steffi grabbed her keys. Then we stop her before she disappears again. Hope tried to protest. You can't just. But Steffi was already gone, determination slicing through fear like glass. The rain had stopped by the time Steffi and Deacon reached the warehouse, the same one from the doctored footage. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of oil and rust. A single hanging bulb swayed overhead. Sheila. Deacon's voice echoed. It's over. A laugh answered him, soft and poisonous. She stepped out of the shadows, pale hair damp, eyes gleaming. Over, she said. No, Deacon. It's finally beginning. You set us all up, Steffi said. You used Will, Cassie, everyone. I used what was broken, Sheila replied. And nothing breaks cleaner than a Forrester secret. Deacon took a step forward. Whatever you think you're proving, stop before someone gets hurt. She lifted a small remote control from her pocket. Too late. A red light blinked to life on the far wall, a tiny camera. Sheila smiled. Smile for the audience. You wanted transparency. Steffi lunged, knocking the remote from her hand. It clattered across the floor, but the camera light stayed on. In the scuffle, a stack of metal crates tipped, crashing down with a deafening clang. Dust filled the air. When it cleared, Sheila was gone. Later that night, police sirens echoed in the distance. Ridge and Will arrived minutes apart, each looking equally shaken. Deacon stood in the doorway, bruised but upright. She's out there, he said. And she's not finished. Steffi stared at the blinking camera still mounted on the wall. The light finally went dark. She'll be back, she said quietly. They always come back. Ridge met Will's gaze. For the first time, there was no hatred, only uneasy understanding. Then we stop her together, Ridge said. Will nodded once. Until she gives us a reason not to. The next morning, headlines screamed across every feed. In a quiet office far away, Sheila read the headline and smiled. Perfect, she whispered. Let them build their alliance. It'll fall faster that way.